Hi, I'm Jessica Boulton from the Daily Mirror. It's Jess Saying column on every Saturday, and I'm here with my favourite TV brothers, AJ and Curtis Pritchard. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Not too bad. Thank you very much for joining me today for our Jess Saying Live.
No, thank you very much. We're excited.
And there's been some exciting news this morning from you guys, hasn't there, about your big announcement for next year?
We've just announced that we will be going back on tour in 2021 with AJ and Curtis' Big Night Out. It is a touring dance, comedy, entertainment, and it's live prizes. So we have got lots of opportunities for people to get on stage, join in with the challenges. We laugh at them, with them. I'm not too sure, but in return, we reimburse them with prizes. So who doesn't like a prize?
That sounds brilliant. What sort of prizes can they be looking for?
Oh, no. Well, we can't give any of these prizes away just yet, so you're going to have to wait and see. But all I can say is they are life-changing.
We've got big
prizes.
And we've also got the essentials, as we know this year. There will be a toilet roll there, I'm sure.
Well, everyone loves a toilet roll.
Everyone loves that. They're in high demand. So when is it that you're going to be doing this? Because obviously there's been some worries this year about going on tour, etc. It's a bit of a risk.
So we've made sure we've done it for September and October next year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, by then we should be in a much more normal scenario to what we are now. And the arts will be back strong and the theatres will be open.
And that's why everyone will be needing a good big night out. So
exactly, I love it.
We've got it.
I love it. And you're going around the country as well. You've got loads of dates, I know.
Yeah, I think it's like 40 dates. There's a couple more dates to be announced. But yeah, no, it's very exciting. Yeah, I still can't believe we've kind of pulled it together. We've used our downtime very wisely in lockdown to plan for this. And we've also got the podcast that's just come out. So the first actual episode of the podcast comes out on Monday. So that's exciting.
I bet you
about the calendar as well.
Kurt's really pushing this calendar. We did a calendar shoot the other day. We only did a calendar shoot because Mum was like, wouldn't it be very nice to have you both on the calendar? Great Christmas presents, not too hard to think of.
Yeah, because I didn't really want to do a calendar. I wasn't feeling it this year. And then Mum said it and thought it'd be great presents to give away and stuff. So then we've done it. And you know what? I love the calendar. The photos and everything look incredible. So I'm actually more excited about that.
Are you doing one each or one together?
We've done a dual calendar. We've done it together. We thought, right, we're doing a podcast together. We're doing a live show together. We're presenting on TV together. So why not just do a calendar together?
Exactly. Makes sense. And also, then you don't have to worry about whose calendar sells more.
Exactly. Otherwise I wouldn't have to worry anyway. I'm a top-selling calendar.
Oh, no. We could just compare it to your previous years with your calendar. And this year is going to sell out.
My previous calendar is great.
Exactly. You can see whether Curtis has upped your sales. Or whether he's brought them down, AJ. Maybe you can point that out.
I know, I regret saying that now. Yeah, what happens if it is down on sales now?
So also I noticed your name's now on the tour this year, because before it was AJ Live, now it's AJ and Curtis's.
Right, if we were in the same building right now and it wasn't social distancing, I'd give you a kiss for saying this, literally, because it was AJ featuring Curtis previously, and now it is AJ and Curtis's Big Night Out. I've made it to the poster, guys. I'm so happy.
Well done. I feel that your brother, deserved to put you on that thing.
He did okay. We gave him a test run last year, and the audience liked him, so we did have to let him get his little epaulets. He got next rank up, so now he gets a full face and a body, not just a little headshot of featuring Curtis. He gets a full body.
I love it. No, tomorrow night, of course, AJ, I have to ask you, it's Strictly starting properly with the launch show. How's it going to be for you not being on it this year?
It's going to be great. We'll be sat right here on the couch, not stressing. It's really nice to know that shows like Strictly Come Dancing are back on TV. It makes it feel normal I'll feel more normal sat on the sofa this year. But that normality for everybody to sit down with their loved ones and actually watch something that they have done every single year. I did 4 fantastic years on Strictly. Honestly, there with Saffron, it was amazing. I just felt like I reached exactly what I wanted to do. And I felt like, why not go out on a bang? And Saffron was amazing. And that year was, I will never forget that, especially that day. that was Remembrance, and she had all the poppies on the dress, and it just came together perfectly. And now I've got more time to pursue other adventures like the podcast and the tours together and more presenting with Curtis. And I felt like he'd come off Love Island, I'd come off Strictly. It just came perfect. Then we went into lockdown, so it kind of has slowed down a bit, but we're okay with that.
Things.
Quick question from Karina Gunn here that's just popped through is, when's the calendar out?
Good question. Seeing as though Kurt's vlogging it so much, he should really know this one. It should be out in the next week.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be.
No, it will be. We signed off 2 or 3 days ago, so it should be out there on Calendar Club website.
So you can get it all for your Christmas presents for everyone, guys.
Do you not get a little bit nervous?
What with like things like the calendar? What, he's not going to sell the calendars?
Thinking of everybody out there, all these people that are going to have you up on their wall all year long.
Right, do you know what I'm most nervous about, actually? Thinking about my friends at home. There's a couple of lads which are going to get the calendar, I know they will, and they're going to take pictures of it and send it to me, and they're going to draw stuff on it, and they're going to completely take the mick out of me. That's the only thing I get nervous for. Apart from that, no, I love it.
As long as they're not drawing on my face, I'm happy.
I love it. There's Laura Gibson who says, thank you very much for coming back to Cardiff next year. You've made a lovely friend of mine very happy. So
that means the world, yeah. We try to get to as many venues as possible. There's 1 or 2 venues that we haven't announced yet due to obviously different theatres, and they're currently closed. So hopefully by next year we'll have all the dates out there. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. We try to reach every single part of the country.
Yeah, I love that you're going all round so everyone can come and see you. Bring a little bit of joy from there. Going back to Strictly, obviously, do you think a little bit of you will miss it when you're sitting on the sofa?
I think the one thing, obviously, I've got so many friends there, and it wasn't a job for anybody that does the show. We love what we do: the hair, the makeup, the camera, the set design, everybody. So I think missing kind of like the friendship side of it all, obviously not being able to really. Well, they've got a small audience, but it's not the same. You wouldn't be able to go and go backstage and kind of get away with running around. So I think I'll miss that a little bit, yeah.
And you'll save me money on voting.
You never voted anyway.
I did.
You never voted.
In my heart, I voted.
Oh, in your heart, but not with your wallet. Right.
In my heart, I was there in support.
Is it more valuable, your heart? Because it didn't help with the voting.
It didn't help. No.
The show finished.
Obviously, it was a great one to go out on, like you said before, going out on the semi-final with Saffron. What do you still keep in touch with all of your dance partners?
Yeah, it's really nice when you see your partners. Like Saffron's doing amazing at the moment. She's got so many different. Oh, she does YouTube videos throughout. She's got so many brand deals. Molly, she does radio. It's nice to see like Claudia. I always see her on Instagram as well. Yeah. And Lauren, like she is always in the gym, cycling, swimming, running. I mean, sometimes I think I go to the gym a lot and I do a lot of exercise, but Lauren, she's on another level.
Yeah. There's those Olympians for you. Honestly, they put you all to shame. I mean, I mean, the dance training should be enough alone without.
There was one VT with Lauren actually, and it was like taking the mick, and I was like, we were doing like a triathlon type thing, so I did a bit of cycling. I was okay, I can run quite quick, but it came to swimming. She's obviously got one arm, and I was like, I'm gonna be okay with this. I'm gonna be able to at least keep up with her. Yeah. She is like a fish. It is unbelievable how quick she is in the water. And on the VT, I was trying to play it off like I really I was messing. I wasn't really slow. Yeah, I was going as fast as possible. It looked like I was going backwards.
No, it's not on your standard.
I can't
breathe. My God, out of breath. I literally did like 3 strokes as fast as possible. I felt like I was drowning.
Swimming's so hard to do, though, isn't it?
It is.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. She is amazing. And now, who are you sort of fancying out of the contestants of this year for doing really well and going on?
I think obviously Jamie's back. So Jamie's personality, he picked the routines up pretty good. He's just got to get through week 1, and then I'm sure we'll be off on a roll. I'm quite excited to see obviously Nicola Adams. We actually spoke to her on our first episode of our podcast. She is. I think what's really good for me, like having 3 Olympians. It's quite hard to see someone's personality sometimes. And Nicola came onto the podcast. She was smiling. She showed her personality. And it's really nice. We're going to see a different side to her. Because we all loved her from the London 2012 Olympics, where she came in and she did her job. but we never saw the smiling personality. Yeah,
just seeing that serious, strong side of her everyone has. So she really will bring out a different side on Strictly.
Because that's all I've ever seen is that strong, serious side. I thought she was going to be one of the sort of really serious contenders.
No, I think she's going to be messing around. She's going to have fun with it.
Yeah. So it will be good to see that. And I know you've talked before about how you would have loved to have been in the same-sex couple on the show. Are you disappointed that you've not got the chance to do that? And
no, I think, for example, like any professional that gets the honour to kind of do that is amazing. And for Nicola to come in and do that, obviously, it wouldn't have worked for me. Yeah. She wouldn't have been my partner. It just wouldn't have made any sense. But I remember I danced with Gorka, I think it was 4 years ago, one of my first Strictlys, and we did like a partnering together as two guys, and kind of like that kind of went down as like doing something a bit different. And I think whenever you do something different, as long as it's done tastefully and you go out there with the best in your heart, like I know Nicola's going to do amazing. And yes, I would like to have made that history, but no, it's not meant to be. It's not in the stars.
It's not. Could there be a return at some point for you? Could you ever see it?
No, I think for me, I'm very clear in my thoughts, and I've done 4 years. I would want to keep that as such a cherished moment and not go back on that. Yeah. Go back as something else maybe, but not as a professional dancer. No.
What about you, Curtis? Would you fancy it? Because obviously you did Irish Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Do you fancy a little stint on Strictly or?
Well, Strictly, it's an incredible program. Like, I've always been a part of watching it, and obviously AJ's been a part of it. But no, I think right now and the future, how it's going, it's with me and AJ moving forward, going into that presenting roles, having our own shows, different things like this, really. So unfortunately, Strictly, I'd have to say no to you.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Whereas I think AJ could be a good judge as well in the future, I think.
Yes. Oh, I like my judging head on. Yes.
Put that little thing out there. Now, was there anxiety when you were on the show? Because obviously, like Neil this year, he's not got a celeb partner. Was there that sort of anxiety of who am I going to get? Am I going to get a celeb partner? You know, are they going to give me someone good? Are they going to give me someone bad? Is it, or is it all just fun and sparkles behind the scenes?
I think obviously if you're a professional dancer, you're going to want to be with a partner. You're going to want to be able to show that you can teach, you can choreograph, and you can show your personality across. I think when it comes to regarding the word anxiety, like you never really know with a show that's Strictly, so you have to take it as it comes. And I think the one hardest thing is once you have got a partner and you're doing routines that are maybe pushing your partner definitely to limit and pushing yourself to limit when you're doing certain lifts, you have to channel your adrenaline, your energy to make sure you tell your partner, honestly, it's fine. It's always going to be fine. Inside, you're like,
that's very believable.
It's not going to be fine.
I felt myself.
I'm never going to make it through this. And then you do the dance. You're like, of course it was fine. Of course it was fine. You're like, but no, you make it work. You have to. You've got 12 million people kind of wanting to be entertained for 90 seconds. So you can't fall short, can you?
You can't fall short, and you can't have like we had Christina and Natalie Lowe talk to us today, talking about some of their sort of wardrobe malfunctions and stuff. And William said that they got their stockings caught in Scott Maslin's flies, which must have been one of the more unusual wardrobe malfunctions. Have you ever, either of you, had any sort of like close scrapes on?
Actually, I have. I remember representing England in the Worlds in Latvia. And, my dance partner, actually, we were doing a paso doble at the time, and her dress ripped here. And literally, her arms were in the air, and everything just fell down.
No.
Literally. And we're halfway through the dance. We can't stop, so she literally just has to hold it up, and we have to continue the rest of the dance. Well, holding it over her, basically. So, yeah, things happen all the time.
Yeah. No, things do happen. It's usually when there's, like, lifts, especially on Strictly, because you'll do a dress run, and you'll expect the dress or the outfit to stay the same. Usually, there's more stones thrown on it, more feathers, more whatever there is. It's always more by the time it gets to the live show. So you'll have to do a lift on the night live. And I remember I did one with Claudia, and we were on Proud Rock. It was to do Lion King, and I remember flipping her, and I literally got like stabbed in the eye with one of these like giant feathers, which looked gorgeous, but just not practical to get stabbed in the eye. And I was like, this little wobble, and at the end, I remember Craig going like, he was like, well, she wobbled at the end, so I'm not going to give it a 10. You're going to have a 9. And I was literally like, it was me wobbling because I got a feather in my eye. She stood over like a 6-foot drop. You can't take a mark off of her. She was doing like a backflip.
Honestly, Craig was on last week and he's a meanie on the show, but he's lovely in the flesh.
Annoyingly, he is really nice and very annoying. That is, but it is the truth.
It is the truth. Yeah, it is the truth. It is very nice. Now, obviously, Strictly's been amazing for you, and Love Island also. There's a story today about the most influential TV programs. Strictly's at number 6, Love Island at 16. So right up there still. What was it like being on there? It's such a phenomenon. Since it's been relaunched. What's it like when you actually step into the villa?
It's nerve-wracking. I remember being there with Tommy Fury just before walking in for my first entrance, and I was so nervous. It must have been about midnight at night or 12:30, and walking in there, I was shaking, and then they literally just said, "And off you go." And then we entered the villa, and then my time begun. And you know what? I loved every single second of it. It really, really was life-changing. The emotions you feel in that place, because you've got to think, obviously, you guys only see 1 hour of the recording, but we're filming 24 hours a day, non-stop. So you're getting tired, you're getting hungry sometimes. There's so much going on all the time. Like, a lot of people think we just sunbathe and relax, which we did do a lot of, don't get me wrong. But
you might have done a fair bit of it,
I still can't believe we were talking about this the other day, actually, and it's 10 weeks you're in there for.
Yeah, I mean 9 weeks. Yeah,
10 weeks. It is
long time.
Obscene how long it is. Like, me and my mum, we went on 3 different holidays and worked all over the world, and still watching you on an iPhone, like in New York, LA, whatever time it was, watching you like this.
That is one thing that is so different in their time, because we're supposedly not meant to know what time it is at all. There's no clocks in there.
There's no clocks at all.
Oh, I hate that.
Nothing. And it's weird. Like, your day is split up into 3 parts. So you've got your morning, and then you've got your afternoon, and then you've got your evening. And
that's a normal day. Usually.
Yeah, but what happens is the morning feels like a whole day. Then the afternoon becomes like a whole day, and then the evening does. So, like, time is just.
But was that because you woke up to make everybody coffee in the morning?
You had to say that, didn't you? But yeah,
it never makes me coffee in the morning. I can tell you that.
The reason for that is because you don't go to bed till so late, so everyone is so tired in the morning. So, like, to start the day off, everyone needs a good coffee, the women and the men. So I'd always be like, you know what, I'll go do it.
I'll go make it, even though I never make it for my brother, whose house I'm living in, but I'll make it for everyone on Love Island.
Yeah, well, you tell him. You tell him.
The thing is,
we've been talking about this. We were talking about Christmas and birthday presents this morning as well.
We have one. I get you Christmas and birthday presents. No. And 2, we have a coffee machine here. We didn't have a coffee machine there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and we're not doing filming for 24 hours a day here. We're just,
I feel like we are.
Relax. I want to say relaxing, but we're not focusing on the tour, the podcast,
yes.
the calendar.
You're 25 different things on the go at the same time.
All the time.
When you are being filmed 24 hours a day in there, are you sort of conscious that you've got to be on all day, thinking this could be the bit they choose for the edit, or do you sort of
No, I didn't think about that at all. I can only speak for myself here, but I just thought to myself, go in there and be you. Whatever they're going to use, they're going to use to film. You know, there's no point in trying to put an act on for certain parts, because you'll just be caught out like that, because they're filming 24 hours a day. So the one time that you don't act like that, well, then you've just been caught out. So I just thought you've got to go in there, be yourself, and just open-mindedness. I've never been in that situation before. Don't know what it's going to be like. So go in there open-minded and take it all on, see what happens. And that's what I did. And it was an interesting ride in there, ups and downs.
Well, it must. I always think it must be terrifying that moment they go, right, can everyone sit around the fire pit? And you've got and
we're stood there for about 2-3 hours around the fire pit. When you only see us for about 5 minutes.
Is that why you look like this?
So literally, because you have to think, they have to get a reaction of every single person's face before they can move on to the next person or this and that. And they're the things that you don't realise. So before you know it, your nerves are building up more and more and more and more, because you just stood there for so long.
Did you ever just think, like, put a reaction on, like, and then see it if it made the edit? I would be so bad.
Did you?
I should have done that, but no, nothing like that.
Did you ever feel like the temptation to say, I would like to recouple with, and then just pick someone completely random that no one would expect?
Yes.
And then she go, joke.
I so wanted to do that. I don't know, for example, Molly and Tommy, I would have loved to have gone, I'd like to recouple up with Molly, and just seen everyone's reactions. I would have loved to have done that, but no one does do that.
But everyone would have hated you, but it would have been brilliant. It would have been
hilarious.
No, I would have done it as a joke. Yeah, I would have been like, no, joking. But I don't know if I could have gone back on it then if I'd said it. And I think that's why nobody did it.
Yeah, you might have ended up sharing the bed with her. What were you worried about? What your family would think with the whole sort of like sharing the beds and all of that stuff and talking about the eagle and everything?
I tend to try and keep. I didn't really worry too much. One, because sharing a bed it's sharing a bed, you know, whether it's male or female, it's just a bed until something happens. But I didn't really talk too much about my sex life too much in there. Like, everyone was talking. I don't know what was shown because I've not watched it back, but everyone talked about it so much. I like to keep that private a little bit. Obviously, in the challenges, you did have to say certain things. For example, the eagle. Yeah. But I tried
which broke the internet somehow. No one knew what the hell you're on about.
The thing is, it's a standard position. It's just when I googled what the name of that was, it came up with the eagle. So yeah,
I think you spelled something wrong. I think that's what happened, and then you confused the whole internet, and everything crashed.
Everything crashed, and everyone's there going, "What?" And
there were so many dodgy memes and so many images. It was so random that night. And then I got asked questions like, "What?" I was like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know."
You don't have any knowledge of what he's up to. It's like, was it cringy to watch at home? Was it like, oh my god, what's he going to say next? What's going to happen? Were you worried about?
No, I think the only one thing, Mum was a little bit nervous before that first episode, and I think as soon as Curtis walked in, he walked in with Tommy, and Mum kind of saw that he was himself. He was nice and relaxed, and then I think that was quite easy once that gone on. I think it was just that Mum was very nervous for that first episode, but after that, it was bloody entertaining. We never knew what was going to happen each day, and they would always in the edit leave it a right cliffhanger, and it was always like, you were shown a lot.
They know how to make a good TV program.
They do know how to. I would love to be a fly on the wall in their sort of production meetings when they're coming up.
Oh my god, yes.
You know what, I would as well, because they like in the production, I think in the back and stuff, they have obviously hundreds of screens, so they can see all the cameras. They've got everyone's mics turned on. So it must just be like mayhem in the back in all of the background, which you don't see. Because if anyone talks or says anything bad, then they'll come through the tannoy. So everyone's mics are always on. Everyone's getting listened to.
Oh, so they don't tell you off through the tannoy. Is that,
they don't tell us off, they'll say, because, for example, if something happens, one time, this good example, a helicopter flew over the villa, and it can be press and things like this. It could be trying to see what's going on. So they shouted through the tannoy, everyone please enter the villa, come inside the villa so nobody can see. So if it is press, they won't be able to catch any pictures of us. So they have a tannoy, which if things like that happen, they can bring us into the villa for safety reasons.
That's cool.
What about if things like, because I know before they sort of said they might suggest, oh, you've had a big argument, go and talk to them. How does that work? You know, when you've got to sort of, they prompt you to sort of go and clear the air with somebody and things like that. I read before. Is that how it works?
The TV program and producers and everyone involved will never and can't and won't ever tell you what to say or what to do.
No.
Never ever say that. They won't.
Because if they did, then people wouldn't say some of the things they come out with.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably actually, yeah. But no, it's not like that. It's normally if the villa's so tight and so small, so you sort of know what's going on between everybody, and it sort of just naturally forms a little bit. Like, for example, if I start, so Abby's your girlfriend, you're with Abby. So if I started talking to Abby, it would just naturally, people would start seeing that, and then you would end up just wanting to talk to people because people just become very inquisitive.
Well, there's not very much else to focus on, is there? Watch the news or read a newspaper or something.
And they start asking questions, so then it just naturally evolves into a conversation about that. So that's how it works, really.
Yeah, and then you just naturally go around. It must be great. I would just be so tempted to go around and stir a few things up if I was in there.
Oh, this guy's just literally said this about
Yeah.
you.
Did you not hear them say this? Oh my God, he said he was going to recouple. You did mention one of the things you said on there, because there's been a lot about Love Island, and it gives a bad sort of image for like young people watching, because everyone's so gorgeous and tanned and slim and wearing these tiny swimsuits and things. Now,
I was a bit different than that. I got fat shamed. So.
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask you, because you sort of talked about how you got body shamed on there, which is how did you cope with that? And what do you think about people who say, oh, you know, it's a bad example? Because I personally don't agree with that, because having watched it, I like seeing the personalities of these people and realizing, you know, they're not much different from the rest of us.
I think one thing that I'd have to say, whilst you were in the villa, like obviously you don't know what's happening on the outside. A lot of times, like we would do interviews with, like, even if it's Piers Morgan or my mom and dad doing different things. Like one thing that when we told friends and family to watch the show, it was really nice that they thought the show was so positive, even for their younger kids to watch, because it was really about being respectful and like the gentlemanly thing of pulling the chairs out or taking people on dates or talking about things or talking about real issues. So I felt like the show was so respectful, and there was such positive sort of the way that a male, female, to respect of kind of people's boundaries. So I think that was really positive. On the other side of what you're going to talk about now, like that's a whole other side of the show that you don't, if you're not watching the show and you didn't have Twitter, you probably wouldn't know about it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think obviously there are a lot of good looking bodies in that villa, isn't there? Some shredded people and then some not shredded people like me. So I was the versatility of it, I'd say. But the problem with me, it wasn't just putting a load of weight on and getting fat shamed and that worrying me and things like this in the villa. It's more before any of that, and that's why I joined WW. It's more, I had a bad relationship with food, because I'd always do crash course diets for my dancing to lose all my weight, and then when I wasn't dancing, I'd put it all back on, basically.
It's the same as me. I've always yo-yo, and
it's just such an unhealthy relationship with food. So that's why I joined Team WW, and it was just to create that healthier relationship. So after the villa, I knew that I'd put weight on. So all this fat shaming, I try not to take on board too much, really. I knew I needed to lose weight, and WW was a great way of doing it. But not just losing weight, it was a great way of changing my thought process and my whole life around food, which it has done. So, yeah.
And to be honest, you didn't need to lose weight afterwards, but I can see that you are more body confident now. As you say, we've got the calendar coming out, and a few from Instagram, there was quite a few to choose from that I saw that you popped up recently. So
I feel much better in my body and in my mind, and I think that it works both ways. Like they say, exercise is, you exercise to get fit, but it works your mind as well in it, and it's such a positive effect on mental health. And it's the same with eating with me. If I eat rubbish food constantly and binge, I don't feel good. You don't feel good naturally, because your body's not got the nutrients, so you can't. So really, it's just turning it all around to a healthy relationship. And I'm good now.
Well done. You're better than me, because I demolished a packet of chocolate hobnobs yesterday. Stress eating.
Don't worry. I still can demolish a pack of hobnobs, but then it's just moderation. I know that the day.
No, he has these like crazy ones. They're like, you've got them in the day, there's like biscuit and then there's like caramel and chocolate. It blew my brain.
Oh yeah, the caramel chocolate hobnob.
I was like, lock them away from me.
No, my last question on the Love Island side is obviously, is it difficult having a relationship in the public eye like that?
I think once you go onto a program like Love Island, or Strictly as well, any program that puts you into the public eye, you are opening yourself up to opinions of good people and negative people.
People are very intrigued, and they kind of get quite obsessed about what they perceive a relationship to be, to what the relationship actually is. Like, we all see positive things on Instagram, whether that be kind of like they look so positive, whereas in reality we know they're not so positive. So I think anything in the public eye just kind of like it's open scrutiny. Even like me and Abby, like we talk a lot and we kind of laugh it off type thing. Well, I usually look, if there's a nice photo, I'm pretty happy. If it's not a nice photo, I just forget about it.
So, but if I was going to take someone on a date now, I'd probably try and not put it on social media straight away. Otherwise, there may be a photographer there.
Exactly. You should probably keep it on the down low for a bit, and it might, might be a bit easier to make it last and go the distance, I guess.
No, I think if something's going to work, whether there's pressure on it or not, it's going to work. So, that's how I think of things anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, you two living together, obviously, as we can see, during this whole time. Curtis, you moved in with AJ, I believe, and Abby. So,
yes.
And I've seen that Abby, just to explain to any viewers that don't know. By the way, we're going to take a load of your questions at the end. I know you're all right coming in with some of your questions, but we'll do them all at the end so that we can talk to the guys. But Abby is obviously your girlfriend of 18 months. Is it now, AJ?
Yes, it would be 18 months now.
I saw the surprise in your eyes.
No, it would be like.
Was it 18 months?
I still can't believe the whole country's been in lockdown for what would be,
I know,
like 3 months properly, but it's crazy,
Which has sort of elevated your relationship, to quite a serious. You're sort of living together full time, and I know you said that it's just gone really well during lockdown and during this whole period for you two.
Yeah, it's nice. We did a pantomime together. We worked together every single day over Christmas. Then we did. I did a tour, then we went on tour together, then lockdown, we were literally together 24/7. I think what's really nice is like kind of when you kind of know it's kind of all working perfectly, both families are really nice. It just kind of, if it was bad, I don't know where I'm trying to go with this. If it was bad, you're with somebody 24/7 for nearly a year, it's going to be bad, don't you? I've got to get out of this, something's not right.
Yeah.
But no, everything is really good and it's just easy. And I hate using the word easy sometimes because it sounds so kind of like off the cuff. But when things just work, it feels easy and it feels so right. And I think that's the best way to explain it. I've done an awful way of explaining it. But yes, I do love her and everything's really good and easy. I said it again. I hate the word now. We refuse. I'm never going to use the word again.
So I'll translate that for you guys. If it wasn't going to work during lockdown, that would have destroyed it. Yeah. But it's working.
Exactly. So, could she be, not to put you on the spot, but totally putting you on the spot, could she be the one? And do you think maybe there might be any questions coming or?
Little AJ and Abby's.
Oh Christ, no time soon. That's true. I do want kids, but not anytime soon. Everything is really good, and I do say that. No, I think I can see a long future with Abby. Definitely, yeah, but definitely nothing happening soon. Especially when I can't even go. From tomorrow, I'm having to have like a birthday meal tonight with my cousins over because my birthday's not till 5th of November. But I'm scared that I'm not even going to be able to celebrate with anybody.
Yeah, probably not by then, to be honest. No. Probably not. But and obviously, I know what Abby said that Curtis is kind of sort of like the third person.
Yes.
Because you are all living together, and you are like, so I'm guessing he's kind of like your Joey to Monica and Chandler.
Oh my God, that's a better way of describing it. I usually describe him as like a jester, but that's a really good description.
Yeah, it describes me as a jester or a joker.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
That makes me laugh.
Is it? Because I like the way you said that he sort of was a really sort of fun, brought a really fun element. Is it difficult all living together, and has there been a bit of bickering or anything?
To be fair, it works perfectly because of the current climate.
As long as you like fill up the toilet rolls that you use all the time and you take the bins out, like you fill up a lot. Yeah.
But
it works great.
I do take the bins out. I do clean
That's
up.
to make you.
No, you don't. I'm not even going down this street.
Oh, I've got it there, haven't I?
Next question.
No, it's funny. We do get on really well.
We're not going to be getting on well after this now. No, we get on well, and it works perfectly for us because obviously working together, we need to be in a bubble at the moment. And we don't spend every second of the day together. I've got TV in my room. I'll go in my room and do things. He'll do things with Abby. So we do have our separate time, but we just spend most of the day
it does work well, and obviously work is very important to us, and being young, we can't put an emphasis on that. And Mum's very happy, so that's another positive thing.
I was going to say, I bet she's really happy. She must love it that her boys are like, such good friends and work together so well, and it's all coming off. She must be so proud.
Yeah, love and stress at the moment. We've got so much going on. I think she's having a headache of trying to keep up with what's happening. So she literally said to me this morning, like, any Instagrams you do, can you just tag me in it? So like everyone, I've got my mum tagged in it just so it pops up on her screen.
But it literally is everything we've been working towards in sort of lockdown and in this closed period. It's like getting announced now. It's
all at the same time, which is great.
Wild.
That's what I was going to say about the podcast, because that's why I asked about bickering, because your podcast is like AJ versus Curtis, isn't it? So how's that working?
Yeah, so it's AJ versus Curtis, right? It's a podcast that's going to cover hot topics to literally conspiracy theories. So anything it's not off the table to talk about. And we always have sort of an end goal, which is the same. But the way to get to that end goal is completely different. Like, we have
end goal.
Like, I don't know, if it's
the topics.
Well, yeah, normally we agree sort of. Or maybe we don't agree.
No, there is a structure to the podcast. So we'll start off by doing, as Curtis said, hot topics and topical conversations. Or we've had one or two special guests to kind of get it out there a little bit more for these first couple of episodes. Then we go into a Q&A for our fans. We've got a quiz between us. So every time Kurt loses the quiz, we allow the fans to choose the forfeit.
The listeners get to choose the forfeit for the loser, which is AJ, not me. Okay, AJ, what does a UFO stand for?
Unidentified flying object. I've got a good memory.
Yes.
Kurt, didn't know what that was.
You didn't know what that was.
Because you can go on to Global Player or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe or follow to our trailer, which has just come out. So on the first episode comes out on Monday. We've got Nicola Adams speaking to her, which is great. Second episode is a Love Island special, which I absolutely blow Curtis out of the water with a special guest that he did not expect, which made me very happy, being the older brother that I am.
Can you give me any hints, or is it?
Oh well, he spent a lot of time with her on Love Island, and it made me laugh very much so. It's a good one. It's good.
Right, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. It sounds like it's going to be really good.
But
and
Abby's called it our counselling, because we get through our gritty moments.
Like
and
also,
it goes,
out to angry.
Everything's put out on that podcast, you know. But it's also so good because it goes along with our lives so well, which is perfect. So it's sort of like a diary of everything we're doing, which is really good for us, because we do loads of things and I sort of forget the things that I've done and I don't realize I've done them. So the podcast gives us a place where we can really go into depth and detail,
and we can be
everything we've done.
We work on big shows like Strictly, Love Island, Greatest Dancer, seen behind the scenes of Britain's Got Talent. Like, you can't always go to that kind of level of cheekiness or touching it right on the edge that you'd want to, because they're like, no, you can't say it. Whereas on the podcast, obviously, we can really go into that detail and give you things that you wouldn't ever know unless you listen to the podcast.
We can say what we want.
Yeah.
And talking of things that we might not know about, have you got any plans to maybe visit Wales anytime soon, AJ? Because there's been a few rumours that
we live in Chester. We live on the border of Wales. We do when we go home.
I do understand that. That's not what I meant. You well know it. Obviously, there's been rumours about I'm a Celebrity. So can you tell us anything about
this?
I would. We would love to do I'm a Celebrity together. Yeah, but, I definitely would prefer the Sun. That's one way.
Yeah, this is the thing. I feel sorry for whoever's going to be on there, because so when you're in Australia, and obviously everyone's starving, aren't they? Because they do the challenges for food. When you're in the warmth and you're hungry, it's sort of, you can get away with it. But in Wales, in the peeing down rain, cold winds, horribleness, and you're starving as well, I feel so sorry.
It doesn't rain in Wales, does it?
I think, you know what? It's down for snow as well at one point, supposedly. I've heard that of somebody as well.
Wow.
I've heard massive hailstorms as well, haven't you, Curtis? They're down at
I've heard
around November time. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be there then.
Thank God we're being in London in our bubble.
Yeah. Really.
One thing, I know you can't talk about the rumours, but Craig last week was on, and he did say if AJ does end up appearing on I'm a Celeb, he's a little bit disappointed, because he says you'll be great as the eye candy. He thinks you're not going to be great at being outdoorsy, but he said as it is in Wales, we're not going to see any shower action. So he said that your chances of getting votes are going to be less, because we're not going to see you do a Myleene Klass in the I'm a Celeb shower.
You've just got to think, if anyone does do the shower, action, it's going to be nice, toned and tight because of how cold it'll be.
Exactly.
So actually, they'll be having a better look at her body there.
Exactly.
Would you like to
about it this way? With the description of you as eye candy, AJ?
I quite like Craig's description. I'll give him a tweet after this, say thank you for the eye candy moment.
I think so.
See, he's such a lovely guy, isn't he?
Craig,
He was a lovely guy. It was meant well. It was meant well. He was just like, he thought you would definitely win if it was back in Oz, and you could you know, do a little bit of the calendar shoot basically out there. Are you outdoorsy? Can I ask that question?
You know what? We actually
love the
are.
outdoors. Yeah.
Since young little kids, we've done extreme sports from mountain boarding, snowboarding, all of these things outdoor. And we would always be building dens in the garden.
Yeah.
I remember one time we built a tree house. And this tree it's a big tree behind the garage. So we built a tree house, and then AJ actually fell from it.
I fell from a 30-foot tree and hit every single branch on the way down like a cartoon character.
So yeah, we've done our fair share of outside.
Yeah, no, we live outdoors. Like we like to get muddy, wet, and in lockdown we did mountain biking like every single day and pretty much killed ourselves, but we're fine now. Yeah, so no, outdoors is definitely a tick. I love the outdoors.
I reckon you'll be a complete dark horse if the rumours are ever true, which obviously we can't say whether they are or not at this stage. Moving, I reckon you could really do well. So if it is true, and I'm backing you for King of the Castle if it does happen.
Yeah, you haven't told me anything anyway.
No, exactly. Onto a more serious note, guys, because I know that it's been 2 years since that awful attack in the club, and it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week. So does it still affect you when you think about that? Because I mean, that was one of the things that really touched us. Was Curtis, you jumped in and helped AJ at that point. Is it still something that plays on your mind?
I think it's
you're always gonna have that kind of in the back of your brain, especially for me the first 6 or 7 months. Like, I didn't really go out. Like, I was on an arena tour, then went on another tour, and I didn't really go to any clubs. I kind of stayed away from all of that scene. I think what's sad is when you do have to think about, you have to watch your back all the time. And the one thing that I would say from that regarding more Mental Health Week and that kind of, for me, the way that I stay mentally fit is to stay physically fit. And I do tie them up very much together, because we used to dance 10 to 12 hours a day, and being in lockdown and doing a lot more business. This is a laptop. Yeah. I'm not playing the piano, I'm playing the laptop. Yeah. Doing more laptop work, like kind of all that. You feel that you don't release the endorphins and you don't always get out there. So going to the gym, going for a run, going for a walk in the fresh air, for me, that's how I keep my mental health strong and my physical health strong. And it's very tied in for me. If I feel down, it's because I haven't got out and about and released any endorphins.
And I think a great thing for anybody is, if you are going through anything to do with mental health or any situation in life, there's always somebody there.
Talk to someone. We're very lucky.
Talk to somebody, yeah.
We're very close with our family, and I understand that a lot of people may not be that lucky, and you have to, a friend or even a stranger, just talk to somebody, because if something is serious, they will always find time. Like when we're out and about, if somebody asks us politely, you're always going to stop. It's just, it's the human side of you.
Yeah, no, of course, and it was so touching, because obviously you had your big knee operation and everything, Curtis, after that. And were you upset that that no one's been brought to justice for it yet? Because I know at the time.
At the time, yes. If you're on the truth honestly, I try not to think about it anymore. I don't really think about it because it's in the past. And if it ever does come up, it's not nice to think about it, because you could be thinking it could have gone a different way. It could have been a lot worse.
It could have harmed your career with the dancing, obviously. It's, you know.
And you never know, glass bottles could have been involved, other situations that could have made it 10 times worse. So I feel we're very lucky how we did get out of it, and we were lucky that we were there for each other. So that's how I try and turn the situation into a positive. But
I think Mum says one thing. For example, like nobody officially got a sentence or reprimanded in that sort of way. We kind of know certain people that it could have been, and the police did their thing. They felt like they had insufficient evidence, so it was going to court. Then it didn't go to court because it was a court case. We couldn't talk about it. And as our mum said, why waste your energy on bringing negativity to somebody else, or doing something that you shouldn't do? You should allow the officers to do what is necessary. So for us, it was about putting our energy into getting better and ignoring that doorbell that's going off right there. Put our energy into positivity, helping others, do charity, rather than focus on something that was negative. We're both fit, we're both healthy, we've got a strong family that helped us get through it. Yeah, if we didn't have a strong family, I would have found it very hard, because I'm the sort of person, I wouldn't talk about it. It was funny because we went on this morning and to talk about it on live TV actually helped.
So sorry.
Actually helped me so much to talk about it, because my anger issues are going crazy right now. No, but yeah, talking about it did help, and I would have to say that I'm somebody who wouldn't talk about stuff like that, and it definitely helped me so much.
And helped you so much. Obviously, a really sensitive one, and I know you said you're okay to mention it, but obviously for both of you, like last weekend on Strictly, they showed the lovely tribute for Caroline.
Yeah.
And I know you both knew her well. Did you see it, and was it very sort of?
I didn't actually see that because we were working on Britain's Got Talent at that time, but I saw some of the comments and some of the images of it. I think it brings the harsh reality of situations like that. Sometimes it's forgotten about when it's not in the limelight, and her situation was so publicized that obviously the whole nation knew about it. So I think, yeah, it was hard to see that, and just thoughts go out to her friends and family. That's all what you can really say, isn't it? And just hope that something like this doesn't happen again, and hopefully people can.
Ooh, hello. We seem to have lost them just temporarily. We got a little bit of a temporary.
Hello.
You're back.
We can see you. Can you see us?
Okay, we can't see you. Let me just go to our producers. Is it?
How about now?
We're going to see you now.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Sorry, guys, bear with us a little second. We're just going to work out.
This looks very weird. What's it doing?
Isn't that?
Camera off. Camera on. Camera black screen. Why is it a black screen?
Connection issue. You should come back. We're just going to carry on.
Yes.
And then hopefully in a couple of seconds you should come back so we can actually see you. So in the meantime, you can just eye roll or whatever you fancy doing at me, or stick your fingers up at me or whatever.
No, because it'll be soon as we did something, the camera would pop back on.
Exactly, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh. No, as we were poignantly saying, obviously it's very, very sad. I didn't know very well. I met her a few times. I thought she was lovely every time I met her. So, you know, are you two? Is it still very raw for you both?
It is. I don't want to say, and I can't really say I knew her 100%, and I knew her as much as her friends and stuff, because I'd be lying to you. But all I did know from the times I met her, she was such a bubbly and great personality, and what's happened, it's a real shame, and I just hope that people in the world do realize that these things can be stopped by just giving somebody the time of day for, if they want to have a conversation with you and they want to talk to you and tell you an issue. Please listen to people and give people the time of day.
Yeah, thank you. We still seem to be having a few connection issues, but
do you want me to leave and come straight back on, see if that works?
Let's try that for a second.
Yeah, one second. I'll leave and I'll be back. Sorry, guys.
So thanks, guys. And we'll come back on there. And in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for them to come back, we're going to have a little chat with them as soon as they're here. And I'll be taking all of your questions. Thank you so much. There's been some great ones coming through. And we'll go through everything that you've asked and try and get them all the answers you want. Beforehand, we're just going to run through these 5 of the fun stories that we liked from this week, so that we can get their perspective on it as well. So let's just give them a couple of seconds, and then I will potentially have to carry on without them until they're back with us. So thanks for bearing with us, guys. Does seem to be that a few little
hello,
got you back. Thank you.
Good.
I'm just about to have to start doing my cha-cha-cha for everyone. And it's not very good.
I was about to say, I do now want to see your cha-cha-cha.
It's been about 20 odd years since I think I did it. I put my old dance shoes in the background for you guys, so that it's a little bit of sparkle. I was just saying that we're have a little talk about some of the showbiz stories of this week that we've loved. Now, these aren't necessarily the biggest showbiz stories. These are the fun things that we've liked this week. And I know that you guys have got a few things to say. So number 5, we got, do you like our little mirror balls for you?
Like
I'll say a little bit fancy. Number 5 is with Ella and her amazing dress here. Now, Ella is Nicola Adams' girlfriend. She is absolutely gorgeous. Like, if you look on her Instagram, she looks stunning. Now, I wish I had the nerve to pull off this. Fortunately, I have neither the nerve nor the physique. Let's put it that way.
That's a very simple mesh layer there, isn't it? Yeah, that's
sheer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit not I can't quite put it off. But what I do like about this, and what I like about this couple, because I think they're great, is that we hear a lot about the Strictly curse and what, you know, all that your partners are all, you know, with the celebs, and they all get a little bit close. And I kind of think that this is a kind of, don't you forget about what you've got at home, love, because I look like this. So don't you be thinking about any of those dancers, because when it comes to skimpy outfits, I don't think anyone on Strictly can beat that. So what's it? The Strictly curse. Now, is that an annoying thing to have to deal with when you're on the show and be asked about when you every single dance partner? Because I think there's been stories about you being linked to Saffron and being linked to Lauren and being linked to Molly. Did you ever?
Claudia. No.
And Claudia, yeah, I forgot Claudia.
No, I think obviously, if somebody has got a long-term relationship that's maybe showing some cracks, then if there's a scenario there, people remember, like, I'm paid to make you feel happy. I'm paid to teach you. I'm paid to carry your bags, and pretty much do everything to make your life really good. So I think sometimes people mistake that for everything else.
Yeah. So, what about you?
To be fair, not gonna lie, we've been brought up in a very, mum and dad have always said in the dancing and everything, you know, carry the ladies' bag, help people out, whoever it is. Don't be afraid to pull a chair, open a door for somebody. Yeah. So I think people mistake that as well, just pure manners for other stuff.
And the sort of chivalry that comes alongside, and also the hours you must spend rehearsing and your dancing.
Yeah. Well, with dancing, definitely, because you've got to think you have a physical connection and an emotional connection through dance, because it's movement to music, and it's your inside feeling, and you are touching a partner. You're in close proximity all the time. So connection is developed, you know, and you just become closer and closer. And it can basically work either way. You can either start really becoming best of friends and maybe progressing something else, or you can find out that because you spend that much time, actually, it's not going to work. So that's why relationships sometimes do, well, get broken up and then evolve in shows like that.
Was there anyone who's come out and had a relationship on the show that really surprised you? Like, obviously we've had Stacey and Kevin, sort of maybe seen that one a little bit. You've got Sean and Katia. You know, was there anyone who went, oh, bloody hell, I didn't know that was going on behind the scenes?
I didn't know that one was going behind the scenes. I'm so for people like Gemma and Gorka, like, honestly, so happy for them. They've got a gorgeous little girl. It makes me happy when you see, like, things that have progressed and continued, and like that relationship is gorgeous. And sometimes some of the other relationships, things happen and you get sidetracked. I'm usually the one person who's so focused on what I'm doing that I'm like, what? Who? When? What? Like that sort of thing.
What happened?
Yeah.
I love it. That would be me. I would just totally be oblivious to anything going on under my nose. Is there none of your celeb partners actually were with anyone when you were with them, wouldn't you? So you never had to deal with the jealous sort of spouse, did you?
No, thankfully, no. All my partners, I think, were single, of what they told me anyway. So I didn't have to deal with any other halves or anything. I usually just kind of the thing is, like, all my partners were really close to their family, so I felt like I kind of got them and their family because they all love Strictly so much, which is really cute. So they kind of like felt like it wasn't just, for example, Saffron going through Strictly. It was like Saffron's family because they all loved the show so much and supported her. So it was, really good. I kind of had like the family affair, but all for positivity. Definitely no negativity.
Yeah. No negativity. Was there anyone you ever thought, crikey, I really wish that they'd partnered with them because I have a bit of a crush on them?
No, I never really thought of that, to be honest. No, I think the one thing that when you do a show like Strictly, you kind of think, who am I going to be partnered with? And I think most of my partners, I was kind of like, that's going to happen, that's going to happen. Like, it kind of all just tied up. Wouldn't you kind of add everybody else up to their partners?
See, now AJ doesn't get the option of a lot of people because it goes off heights sometimes.
Here it comes. Here it bloody
So AJ really has only a pick from the smallest people.
You mean the best bunch of people?
So I was about to say, good things come in small packages, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm a diamond. That's what I am.
Exactly. He's had some brilliant partners. Molly, for example, lovely.
You actually have, and I do think,
great partners.
As much as I joke about it, I do think you've been robbed from the final a couple of times.
Yes.
You've never made the final, and I do think you should.
And I never will. It's over.
That's it.
Our relationship is done.
Because Curtis hasn't been voting enough for you, as he admitted earlier. Yeah. So that's why you deserve the final. And
I vote for him every time.
Like, we go on to number four in our stories of this week, which is one that is a mention today. There were rumors that BGT execs might be eyeing up a certain judge to return. They were talking about, I think it's one of those things where it's in very early talks, but they were talking about whether Piers Morgan might come back to the Britain's Got Talent panel and just sort of jazz things up a little bit. It didn't do great last week. Well, no, it did do great. It got 6.6 million viewers, but it got 4 million less than last year. Obviously, we know so many reasons why. With the virus, probably was one of the biggest things that could have affected it. But what do you think about if Piers was to come back?
Well, I never saw. I saw this news this morning, but I never saw him when he did it all that time ago. I can't, because he did do it.
All I can say is he will be.
I like
Piers. Straight to the point, won't he? If you're not good, he'll tell you straight.
Every time I do an interview with Piers on live TV, I'm like, this is going to be fun.
Oh, you like the challenge, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's brilliant. He kind of, I think he hit me with my girlfriend because it was with Saffron, and he was like,
"Did you hit you with your girlfriend?"
No, he was with Saffron. He goes, well, aren't you supposed to be knocking off with like Saffron? Or he did some like weird shoulder thing. And I was like, well, I've got myself a hot blonde at home. And then suddenly they appeared a hot blonde. And then Abby pops up and he goes, oh, you are what's it? You are shooting, what's it? You are punching, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. And then the interview went, done. I was like, oh. Done.
AJ saying he's punching, brilliant. Like, I love it. And but you obviously were on BGT with David when with Williams was there, because one part of the story which I mentioned was they're saying that it might be Williams goes and Piers comes in potentially.
I love David for me was even back then when we did that audition, he was so nice. So I think he just loves his job and he is hilarious. Annoyingly, he reminds me of you. He does. Or you of him, whichever one to say. It just makes me laugh all the time.
Well, Piers called him an insufferable twerp, which I feel was a little harsh. So would you take side between them?
I like David.
Oh, controversial.
I do like David, to be fair.
Yeah,
I go for David. I don't know, I really like it. And he takes his nan to watch, his mum to watch theatre.
Yes, whenever we would go to watch theatre, Matthew Bourne ballets and things, he always brings his gran with him, and
which is lovely. It's lovely.
And we always go say hi to him. We have photos with him. His mum always likes photos with us, so it's really cute.
And Piers Morgan said that Love Island people are all brain dead zombies. Sorry, Piers, so I'm gonna have to go with a
statement quote.
There you go.
I said to him, I said, I don't disagree with you.
You did say that.
I said that to him.
You said you don't disagree with him. Did you offer to challenge him in a little IQ test?
Nah.
You should have.
I wouldn't want to make him look silly, you know.
No,
I feel bad for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is what I meant earlier with Love Island. People do seem to sort of write everybody off, which is ridiculous. Some people have been like nuclear physicists that have gone on there.
Yeah.
Number 3, we have nice little sparkling mirror ball, and a lovely little story about Nick Frost, who says that he feels that he was once kissed by a ghost.
Beats Curtis about this one.
I mean, is this a new comedy he's doing or something, or is this?
We don't have a picture of said incident. However,
I thought that was it. Yeah, can't you see the ghost kissing him? It's a real position.
Around in the back. He was apparently sitting on the sofa one night where he felt himself being stroked. Thought it was Simon Pegg. Turns out it wasn't, and there was no one there. So obviously, slightly weird running. I'm not sure
how much does he have to drink or something before that.
He was sitting on the sofa 3 miles away.
I don't believe in ghosts, though. I
don't
believe
in all of that.
Well, how do you believe in ghosts? And have you ever had a weird encounter?
Yes. Now, right. Okay. So, in Mum and Dad's home in the north,
it's an old house.
It's an old house, and now my bedroom, which is your bedroom now, because we'd swapped when we were younger.
Yeah.
When we were younger, I had his bedroom, he had my bedroom. Now, I used to sleep with the landing light on and the door open as a young kid. Now, I was on my bed. Why'd you say no? Yes, I did.
It said weirdo.
Oh, and then I used to sleep with my bed so I could see it. Now, I woke up in the middle of night one time, and there was a shadowy figure in the doorway.
Sure it wasn't me?
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I think it was Mum. But the thing is, I shouted and I was like, Mum, Mum, and I had no reply. So then that scared the hell out of me, it did. So I hid under the covers for ages, hid there. And then when I finally manned up the courage to peep out of there, no one was there.
Mum was getting a drink, probably.
Probably was. But why didn't you reply to me when I shouted Mum?
Because she didn't want you to get a drink for you.
No, that ain't the case.
So you're not a believer then, AJ? You don't reckon the truth?
I think we've got an old house that's got very creaky floorboards, so like lots of things move all the time and noise, and there's like howling the winds. But I wouldn't say ghosts.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a full believer, but I don't know. I think there could be something out there.
Yeah, there's probably something out there. But it's not a ghost, is it?
How do you know?
I think we'd have seen one by now, wouldn't we?
But that's the thing; it's a ghost.
We film everything these days.
Yeah, but it's a ghost. You're not meant to be able to see them. It's like lizard people.
What's a lizard person?
Reptilians.
What's reptilians?
Reptilians are supposedly the high people that command like the world.
Oh,
Apparently,
next.
I'm feeling someone's been on conspiracy websites, but just I'm a Celeb Castle's haunted, so we shall see on that one. Anyway, moving swiftly on to number 2. There's been a few confessionals this week because there's lots of autobiographies out. It's in fact, W.H. Smith is awash with autobiographies this week. Now, Martin Kemp and Shirley are bringing out a lovely book. I believe it might be produced by Mirror Books, just saying. Anyway, Martin gave a rather strange confession this week where he talks about one time when he was a lot younger, been out on the lash a little bit, gone back to a hotel and accidentally went in the wrong room, used the bathroom, let's say souvenir, when he realised that it wasn't his bathroom, so he didn't flush it because he didn't want to wake the people up whose bedroom it actually was.
Right, so, he's telling half a story here. I am telling you, that is half a story. Why would you flush the toilet?
You didn't want to wake
why
up.
So you just want to leave it floating there?
But then they'll never notice him.
I've unfortunately had this experience where I came home to my house after someone do some work in my house, and I tell you, I was not happy with the decision to not flush. To be honest, I think always flush. Wake them up.
I agree. Whether you're
you not flushed
in your own.
Oh my God, he's done this before. You've not flushed toilet once because you said you'd wake me up.
What?
Yeah. What? He's not flushed toilet before because he said he'd wake me up.
If I've gone for a number 1, not a number 2,
still flush the toilet.
Well, no. If you drank enough water and it's see-through and clear anyway, it's basically water anyway.
Flush the toilet.
Save the planet.
I was going to ask what the worst thing you've done when you're drunk is. That was going to be my question for this, but I think you've revealed quite a lot more info there, Curtis.
But I agree, you should always flush, whether it's in somebody's random house, someone you don't know, you know, always flush.
Exactly. What is the most embarrassing thing you've done when drunk? Have you done anything to rival that?
That's just weird. That's not even when you're drunk, is it? That's weird.
That's weird. It's gross.
Yeah, nothing I can say on camera, I don't think, really.
No. I was really on the spot there. The other person this week, obviously, Philip Schofield had his book out, and some really interesting things in there, really heartfelt things that he's been talking about. As we know, he's had a really big year for him with everything, and he's coming out and everything. But one little detail I did like in the book, which was a little bit more on the fun side, was he talked about when Princess Diana met him. And one thing, he introduced himself, and she said, "Oh, I know who you are. Me and the boys, obviously Wills and Harry were little at the time, watch you every Saturday morning," which was going live. And she said, "How's the gopher?" So out of all the royal questions you could probably have, I think the inquisitiveness over Gordon the gopher might be my favourite royal encounter I've heard of. Have you had any good royal encounters?
I mean, I danced in front of the Queen.
That was very cool.
Yeah, at the Remembrance. Unfortunately, I didn't see the Queen, or I didn't actually speak to her. I just remember dancing, and she was in a box up there, and I just didn't want to look up at the box, or I didn't want to look up at her or anything, really. Just because I thought I'd forget the dance or something. So that was quite cool.
You would slip up.
Prince Philip, I met, and he kind of like, he was just very...
Oh, I like...
Yes, very... I like the shiny outfits, or it was something like that. All flats, I'm sorry about that. But, that was awful. But it was just like very... Yeah, it was
There's a better
trust.
Yeah.
Like just, I don't know why, but I envision him sipping like a cup of tea.
And then, like two guys behind him kind of like, this is this person, this is this person. He just went, just very happily. He made me quite happy.
Yeah, so you didn't get a good classic gaff that he normally makes, which I love it.
He did that to Luke Evans, who was stood next to me, because I think Luke Evans went for dinner with him the night before. I was like, whoa, where's my invite? What happened here?
Yeah. Where's that? Moving on to number one on our little list this week, and no surprises really. Showbiz stories. I'm not going to say we loved this because we didn't, but I'm a little bit shocked by this one. Didn't see it coming.
I didn't read this properly.
Yeah, so it's been the sort of ongoing scandal of the week of obviously Lily James, Downton Abbey and Cinderella fame, being spotted in some looking very lovey-dovey pictures in Rome with Dominic West, who is her co-star in the upcoming The Pursuit of Love, in which he plays her father. So, all sorts of issues here, so I mean, you could have potentially explained away some of the photos, but altogether they were looking a little bit too lovey-dovey, touchy-feely. And then when he got home, he posed up with his wife, which is what you saw on our sister paper's front page there. And in quite a strange thing, really, because it was that old sort of the good wife pose out the front of the door that I mean hasn't been done since sort of David Mellor's time. You know, we're all fine, everything's good, nothing to see here, which screams there's something
all of it.
So it's all been a bit of a head scratcher how this could even come to be. My big question of this whole thing is why Lily James has gone from Captain America Chris Evans to someone who plays her father in the upcoming series. I mean, just bad mistake, girl. Bad mistake. Anyway,
I mean, it's whatever you're into, isn't it? Really, whatever makes you happy,
whatever tickles your into. But guys, when it's what's your sort of being in the public eye? Do you have a sort of nightmare scenario if you're out with like Abby or something, of being anything you have to bear in mind you don't want to be caught doing as such, or is it really a lot of pressure in the public eye?
I don't really think about it too much because I'm very normal. We're very normal people. Like we don't do anything very weird or like wrong. That sounds weird now I'm saying it out loud. But obviously if we're out on like a romantic date and somebody like we went for brunch the other day, which was just like something very casual, and like some guy came up with his daughter on FaceTime and went, oh my God, here's AJ. And I was like, whoa. I was like, literally about to get into my scrambled egg. And I'm happy to say hi and do a video for someone. If someone goes, hi, can I please have a video for my daughter?
Yeah.
This guy was like, FaceTime. I was like, she was like in bed. Like, she was like, what, Dad? And then she was like, ah. And then the whole restaurant was obviously now looking at me. And then I'm like, got to eat my food now. And then he came back because he got another daughter when I'd finished my food and got her on FaceTime. I was like, whoa.
Which is all right, unless you're thinking, hang on, I was just mid eating a bit of egg and suddenly
it was down his face. Yeah. I thought he was walking to the toilet on the other side, but he was walking directly to me. Yeah, that was a bit annoying.
That must be quite a mind thing to have that happen to you when you're out and about and just
especially
be like,
now we're trying to keep a bit of a distance as well with people.
And people forget. That's the hardest thing. People do forget.
Yeah.
Come very in your space, and you have to.
I'd be terrible. I'd be like, hang on a second, 6 feet away, please. And then
whoa.
Now I'm just going to take up because you've been brilliant, guys. You've chatted away for ages, and I'm so grateful to you. So thank you very much because it's just been. I could spend all afternoon chatting to you guys. There's a couple of little questions come through from our viewers. So if we just Joanna Goodhead has said, what is the most annoying thing about living with each other?
That was from Joanna, wasn't it? Joanna, the most annoyingest thing is
it makes up words like annoyingest.
The most annoying thing that AJ does for me is
correct you.
No, that isn't even annoying. What's annoying is, right, you'll just randomly say this. I'll cook scrambled egg on toast, right? So I'll cook scrambled egg on toast and I'll wash the frying pan before I even eat my food so it's clean so anybody else can use it. And then if I don't wash the spatula, however you say it, I can't even say that word, he'll have a go at me and say, why haven't you washed that? I've just dug into my food and started eating it. Where if AJ cooks scrambled egg, right, he won't wash the pan. He won't wash any of it. He'll leave the pan just my water just in front of everything.
I'm letting it soak so I can clean it afterwards.
Annoying.
Let it soak, yeah.
That's
I love that.
Yeah.
What, you clean 50% of it? If you didn't clean the saucepan, at least clean the spatula with it.
But
don't
then
just
you
do half
leave
and half.
the pan for somebody else to come and clean.
No, I clean it afterwards.
Because I normally end up cleaning it.
You two need a reality show. I think you'd be brilliant. You'd be like new Kardashians. Like,
well, yeah, they've got their slots going, isn't it?
I'll take that slot.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Vicky Leyland has asked, what would be your specialist subjects on Mastermind?
Cars. I love cars. Like anything to do with like statistics,
extreme sports,
make some models,
things like that.
How can you ask a question about extreme sports? You don't know the dates of things. You don't.
What do you mean? I've just extreme sports. Depends
when
what
did Tony
is.
Hawk last win X Games?
1998.
I'm gonna Google that because that's not true, guys.
Somebody please Google that and tell me if that's correct. 1998. Did Tony Hawk win X Games or whatever it was?
Google it because
I hope I'm correct. I just full on hope this. This will just make my whole entire year if I'm correct.
That would be very impressive. Whilst you're looking that up, I've got
95.
I see. I knew it.
That's what you meant to say, wasn't it? Clearly, yeah.
I did say 95, didn't I?
Yeah, that's what you did. We'll run the tape back, but I'm pretty sure you did, Curtis. Macy CC says, "Who's the better cook?"
Well, I will be cooking tonight with Abby. So myself and Abby
will be cooking tonight. And hands down me, because I was a chef for 2 years, so I know how to actually cook.
No, you were employed as a dishwasher.
I was employed as a pot washer.
Pot washer,
dishwasher.
You're the same thing.
Right, I was a pot washer, and then I was fast at my job, so then they moved me up to sweets and starters and so on, so on.
He's
never
now
cooked for me once.
I cooked you steak the other day,
and it was not very nice.
What you? That is rubbish. You loved the steak.
Yeah, like giant peppercorns. It was like, oh,
because you asked for peppercorn sauce.
I didn't ask for like actual peppercorns in my sauce.
What? See what I got to live with.
Yeah, I mean that's very ungrateful, AJ. He cooked for you. He tried.
Yeah,
I tried.
He tried his best. Yes, he did. It was a solid 4 out of 10.
Teaming up on me here.
See, my cooking's more of a kind of sort of like, oh, there's Domino's or a pot noodle. What would you fancy? Or just the old, or I'll just pour a glass of red and that'll do. And I've got one here from Mitch North. He says, when the tickets on sale for the big night out tour, which I believe is now.
Are on sale right now. One or two of the venues will be on sale on Monday due to trying to logistically try and get 40 dates out. It's not the easiest. But yeah, all tickets should be on sale right now. Go to AJ and Curtis.com.
What's the AJ and and?
AJ and Curtis. It's not
www.ajandcurtis.com. And the
So
spell
you
AND.
might understand. So you were right to spell it out. Yeah. What are you doing for Halloween? Says Ellen Baker. Sorry, Baker.
Very good question. I would like to
I want to
cut
get
up
some pumpkins.
Yeah.
Sat in cutting up pumpkins.
Yeah, sat in, not going out. Just chopping up a crazy pumpkin and put some good candles in there. It makes me very happy.
You gonna dress up?
Probably not.
No, we're not going to lie to you. No.
A lovely question here. Sue Boulton, who happens to be my mother, has put her question in, so I shall be talking to her about this later. She says, when are you bringing them home? Love, Mum. So not embarrassing at all.
You'll have to get tickets, Sue, to come watch the show. I know it's a year away, but still, it'd be worth the wait.
Yeah, I think she'd quite like that. I think she'd like that. So that's brilliant. Oh, a quick one from Katie Gallagher. What are you most looking forward to about the tour?
Being back in live theatres with an audience, entertaining people, and them just being out and about, I think is the best thing. Obviously, we've got dance, comedy, entertainment, prizes. Everything else is amazing. Massive LED screens. But just being back in theatres.
Exactly the same, really. Just performing back on stage, having a live audience and a bit of normality in front of you, really.
Having that feeling again of being back on. I mean, I think most entertainers would be desperate for that opportunity once we can all get back out there and get back to having some proper live theatre. Guys, you have been absolutely astounding. I've enjoyed every minute with you two. You're such a good laugh. So thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I'll be tuning into your podcast as well.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that second episode. I know you will.
You'll enjoy every episode.
Exactly. I will enjoy it, definitely. And I'll enjoy it when I get some calendars as well. I can give them out.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Really love it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.